Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. It's Midweek Magic, and we have Chromatic Start Standard. So this one is actually just very simple. At your beginning of your upkeep, you conjure a Chromatic Star onto the battlefield, one time only. And the Chromatic Star, it's basically a card. So if you sack it, it goes to your graveyard. Um, Originally, I was figuring that I tried to make a Converge deck for based around Strix Secrets of Strixhaven, but it feels too expensive, and considering that the best decks are either Lessons or Landfall, well, actually not even Lesson, could be like Spell Elementals can go. There are many variants of Blue Red. The Spell Elementals is a little bit more controlly, but there are also the ones that can run you over pretty quickly. There's also Landfall that can also run you over pretty quickly. So I decided I kind of wanted to run something low on the ground, and since we're already running artifact, let's have a tribute to the artifact strategy that it wasn't standard for a while. So this one's more like an homage to that. So it's not completely mainstream. We are running meme cards like Food Fight. I probably would cut this in real life, but I just want to give it a try. Also it gives our weapons manufacturing a self-sacrifice outlet. Otherwise, demand answers also help sacrifice artifacts. Legion Extruder helps sacrifice artifacts, also spots new artifacts. Primarily, it's Ravenous Robots and Pinnacle Emissary that helps spots even more artifacts, so that helps us a bit. We have Burst Lightning for basic removal along with the Legion Extruder and some copies of Chainsaw in case we need something a bit more. But we also have Little Breaking because green go wide Badger Mole Cub is still a thing, so we kind of want. Originally, this was Pyroclasm. I figured I might want. I figured I'd give this one a shot because this does create a Lantern token. We have a few copies of Soul Guide Lantern in case we run into Reanimator. But otherwise, it's just that simple. It's just all about them artifacts, and we'll, we'll see how we go with this one. As I said, we did have to. Originally, if it wasn't Food Fight, I was running Ginger Brute. So yeah, it was. I was still running food. And this one, yeah, if we have to play Control, we play Control. That's pretty much the gist of it. So it's a question of can we wait or do we have to say play Legion Extruder right away? As it is, it looks like we can kind of wait. I could we could kind of wait a bit. I could even just take. Yeah, because I have the demand answers. I can kind of wait on that a bit. We'll wait. Then we can decide if. Then we can decide from there. Use social engineering. Okay, so I wish we. Not again, not the worst. I would have preferred little breaking, but we can probably Pinnacle Emissary. Oh, there, we got the little breaking after all. That said, sacking the lander token is not the ideal one, but we will probably do it. Alternately, it's an argument for waiting a bit because we know our opponent has to. And so next turn, if I would ideally want to wait for our opponent to kind of play themselves out a bit. No, that's fine. That is also good for little breaking. If it ever got too big, we would chainsaw. But let's see. Yeah, I think I can. I'm okay with lands for now. Oh, I should have attacked first. Sky Stinger. Looks like our opponent's. Well, they're not missing their land drops, so they will get this down next turn. So we know we can Pinnacle Emissary into a chainsaw. The next turn we could say Ravenous Robots, Legion Extruder on the Legion Extruder in the next thing. We would really like weapons manufacturing. If our opponent goes out of their way to take out the emissary, I'm kind of fine with it. Also remember that despite how it looks, this does not have flying. It has warp, but no flying. So let's be careful. Let's be careful with that. Into a seam rip, which will probably take. That's okay. That was the least important one of the bunch. So Ravenous. Ravenous. And later down the line, we can say start converting some of these into larger tokens. And yeah, never mind. Opponent's not gonna doesn't want to stay around and find out. So we kind of got there. Whew. Yeah, we just had to have some early control. Outside of the Sky Stinger that our opponent played, our opponent did not seem to have a large enough creature, which kind of something not. Ooh, hey, I did. Yeah, I really like. Ooh, hey, it's a nice unstoppable slasher one. Okay, let's keep going. Let's get a few more games of this in. Okay. Yeah, looks like first. Yeah, we'll play Steam Vents tap. Don't want I don't want to reveal Burst Lightning if we can. We can always do that next turn. If our opponent doesn't do anything, I'm willing to just go play Food Fight next. It will deal a minimum of 2 damage for 2. Not great, but it's still something. And since we don't really need to crack this for mana, it gives us an alternate use for the Chromatic Star. Having them spot us that one artifact really nice. Demon Wall. Okay, a bit big. Thankfully, we have a chainsaw. But that's it. But this does indicate our opponent is probably playing bigger creatures, so our little breaking might not line up here. If they're just going to remove. Also note that it doesn't. It's not a sorcery speed ability, so we could actually just leave up mana for it. So actually almost forgot about. I really forgot what Food Fight did. So, well, looks opponent is not gonna doesn't want to find out. I'm kind of fine with that. Actually, not that enthused. So we will be able to take out 4 toughness creatures eventually. And we can wait. Yes. Like how often do you hit another chainsaw? Though if I end up little breaking, I might end up just little breaking. Well, I would little break the Chromatic Star first, but I might just little break a chainsaw down the line. We have like 6 basic lands, so being able to that's fine. That's not fine. We need to pick up some actual action at this point. Yeah, there you go. Pinnacle Emissary, though we are now missing artifacts. I could just play it and slap a chainsaw on it, I guess. If our opponent plays something like a creature, yeah. So I'm suspecting our opponent also has some amount of removal too. So I might actually just want to wait on the Pinnacle Emissary. Problem is, if our opponent is actual mid-range, we are way too slow. We should have been having creatures by now. Yeah, this is really bad. We're spending multiple spells on just on this Bloodletter. Yeah, if we're answering our opponent's creatures 1:1, this is really bad. Yeah, let's start cutting down on some of these lands. No. Yeah, then we're okay. On paper, we are probably not gonna win. Yeah, our opponent's now gonna start outdrawing us a bit. We might be in real trouble here. Yeah, Unholy Annex is kind of a complete. Okay, Tiny Bones, Innkeeper's Talent. I'm more concerned about this, so I have to. So I still have to kind of hold up a bit. The fact our opponent is still willing to take damage now. Okay. So I actually want to play this first. Then Warp Pinnacle Emissary in. Because I need a creature that can block on the ground, so that's why we prioritize this. Then we'll probably just put chains off here. Now they might have another Maelstrom Pulse, or they might just have removal. The thing is that Assassin's Trophy. Oh, they're gonna. Okay, that's not the worst. So this is Ward 1, so I can kind of wait on our opponent to feature the Schism into another Demon Wall. Well, the Demon Wall's a problem because now they start gaining life. So I need to see where they dump it on. Yeah, yeah, I figured they dump it there. Not gonna swing at all, but now we don't have a clean out to this. But yeah, we're not winning this one. We are not exactly gonna win this one. We kind of flooded out quite a bit here. I'll probably I'm gonna probably concede now to save time because we actually played out all our cards for the most part. We did not hit any of our engine pieces until super late, and even then, we kind of needed more engine pieces at that point. So I can see why the artifact deck had a much harder time going on versus just instants and sorceries, especially when with the vast number of ways of generating card advantage in blue. I can see why the artifact deck fell out of favor in that sense. Okay. So I'm most likely going to play the Stormcarved Coast first. Then next turn, it's either Emissary, Soul Guide Lantern, or some variation thereof. If I can keep it down low, I could probably just play Legion Extruder at the beginning. Yup, this is probably some variant of control, so not liking it. Yeah, we'll play this one. Also an argument that I probably should have cracked this because I do need to hit land drops. I now need to hit land drops already. Also, oddly enough, has Badger Mole? I don't believe Badger Mole Club has fallen out of favor. There is no way that is true. Opponent is Mill. I was considering that I might want. So we now have to be quite aggressive here. So yeah, I'll play this. Also, one thing to note is that Soul Guide Lantern cannot exile our graveyard, so I actually have to take a look in standard, see if we have a very. Unfortunately, Soul Guide Lantern is the best option if you want to take out your opponent's graveyard, but it's rare that we have to play around for this. I kind of needed that land. If we can hit the land, I'd go robots into Legion Extruder. And I probably want to hold on to this for as long as I can. If our opponent doesn't play any of those, I might just run out Emissary and leave it at that. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, losing our land is actually quite brutal for us. For us there, we really needed hit a land. In hindsight, I probably could have also just gone for the main aggro plan. Day of Judgment, okay. Big figures, but it does skip them this one. Okay, so this time yeah, we're basically kind of baiting our opponent into just spending their time on ratting our board. I do suspect they have the. That's okay. That was nice to have, but it was not a main game plan. That one is kind of fine too. So let's see if we can hit a land. Yes, we can. And probably just enters tapped. See if we can hit another land. Nope, but I do like those machines, so well, our opponent probably would mill that as well, but we'll see how it turns out. I suspect it gets milled. Stock up, sure. So double check, make sure I didn't accidentally pause the video. So I'm gonna attack first. Yeah, so basically our opponent probably counters this. I'm fine with that. Sure. So I think I play this now. Yes, we are opening ourselves to a get loss, but it is. Yeah, unfortunately we were too slow on that one. We really needed an upgrade, I guess. Yeah, and unfortunately Soul Guide does not save us there. Oh, there goes our food fights. That would have been cute, but yeah, unfortunately we were way too slow. We were barely hitting our land drops as it is, and Honestly, we are not lined up for this matchup. We really needed. Hmm, have I seen enough artifacts to justify upgrade? Kind of hard to say. And also, for some reason, we're just not hitting the probably maybe the Badger Mold deck has been hated out quite a bit. So we okay, so depending on our opponent starts, I could just burst lightning right away. Okay, definitely a tokens deck. So we can actually kind of hold a bit. Seam rip on weapons manufacturing. Yeah, that's a shame. Well, we did hit all our burst lightnings now. So I'm gonna wait for our opponent to
One way or another, this fight must end. Side by side we fight.
Yeah, this is where we go little breaking. And we probably snipe a Johnny. Demand answers. Okay, Thundering Falls.
My spirit is unbreakable.
Let's see if our opponent can. Elspeth Stormslayer. Well, there's another little breaking we can use, but kind of need to. Okay, we wait.
Danger surrounds us. Stay close. Thank you for your aid.
Yeah, but we don't have an out to these planeswalkers. That's a problem. We haven't we haven't been able to apply any pressure, and these guys are. And we have to play the Ravenous Robots now. That if they have another. That's okay. We can food fight with the tokens instead, but well, thankfully no haste.
Side by side we fight.
And unfortunately, we're just living and dying by the little breaking. But yeah, kin binding on this one is gonna be super brutal for us because we really don't have any removal for these guys. And the next set that enters is just gonna be and unfortunately these guys got way too far. Man, we can't well, we did justify the little breaking, but we can't seem to find the right we can't seem to find the matchup to get us going. Should we could probably just remove the control elements and just go all in on the artifacts, but if we don't go first and we end up doing that, we actually fall way behind. It's just that we have. Oh well, I guess we might never get that matchup. But it does explain why this deck has pretty much fallen way out of favor now. And we can drop the chainsaw because we really need to be aggressive in hitting our lands. Though I will regret it if it turns out our opponent is playing larger creatures. I guess that's also the other issue. It's just that we. Okay, now this is really bad because we have no outs to omniscience combo. Well, not entirely true. Though I would not be surprised if our opponent had an answer for this as well. Oh, it's artifacts. So we're going to be seeing who's faster here. Definitely want to demand answers. Let's see if we can hit a land off this. Nope, just another demand answer. So yeah, we're gonna have to demand answers, sacrifice an artifact. Okay, there's our land. And yeah, we'll now start playing here. Yeah, so now the battle to go really wide begins. Oops, there. Oh, they whiffed. How did they whiff completely? Usually that deck should be just fine. Star Cage, exile all artifacts and creatures. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So that would be. So that would be a reason to. That would be a reason to have an upgrade. Okay, but at least we can. Yeah, might as well go for it. Thankfully, it does not touch our weapons manufacturing. Oh, and because it leaves. So Star Cage is actually not okay. Wait. So then we play Legion Extruder. So this. So now Star Cage is not a reasonable answer. Okay, they're gonna go United Battlefront. They don't have a way to give it haste. And they can tap this, but I can still respond, and I would have enough to shock them afterwards. Whew. Okay, that was quite close. I did consider doing that, but I really did not have I did not have the mythics to craft all those simulacrum synthesizers. And sometimes the United Battlefront will whiff as well. Anyway, we've gone long enough with this one. It's fun for what it is, but it's not the greatest. That's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on notifications. Um, yeah, just adjust down a little bit. Yeah, okay. So far. Strixhaven. It would contribute a lot to standard. I just kind of wanted to do something for just like a look back at the past. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.